The first one is from Everymanish. It says, I'd love to hear the Money Guy team's take on the new rules allowing 529 beneficiaries to roll over unused funds to a Roth IRA. How much better does this make 529s for supporting your kids' future?
Can I editorialize for just a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Because here's when this first happened, everybody was like, "Oh,
Yeah, people
that
got
was
real
the
excited.
headline.
this is gonna be, oh my gosh, this is gonna be incredible. 529's blah." And people got so excited about it. I don't think it's actually a planning opportunity. I don't think it's something that's like, I'm going to specifically plan around this. What I think it is I think it's a nice catch-all. Basically what it says is, hey, if you're someone who's saving for your child to go to college, and they get scholarships, they get grants, college is less expensive than you thought, and you just happen to end up with excess $529, here's a mechanism where you can use those excess $529 to fund Roth IRAs. I think it's a catch-all. I think it's like an asterisk, an addendum that allows you to capitalize on money that was kind of still left out there. I don't think it's something where parents ought to say, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grotesquely overfund my 529 so that in some point in the future, I can then start dumping this into Roth. Because if you do that, what you end up doing is you end up cannibalizing your kids' ability to save in their Roth IRA. And so I think it's fine that it exists there. I don't think it's as exciting as all the headlines maybe made it seem.
Well, look, it's a positive. I want to give the legislatures. I'm all about the government today.
I'm a big government guy
man,
today.
When they do things right, you want to give them credit. Because the only bipartisan thing is that we're all disappointed sometimes in the way the decision making goes in D.C. It's nice when you can see the intent was actually to bolster or benefit, people to be able to save and invest more. So 529s, we love because for educational purposes, they grow tax free. And as a person who's got a daughter in college, I have loved being able to use her 529 assets to pay our portion after scholarships of the education. It's pretty powerful. But I had this question yesterday. I was at a New Year's lunch, and they had two, one was, I think, 18, 19 years old, and then they had another daughter who was like 16 or 17, and they were getting ready for college funding and were asking about the 529s. And I was like, and they were so worried they'd overfunded. And I was like, well, there is this new provision that as long, because there are restrictions, as long as the account is 15 years, it has been open for 15 years, you can use those excess funds if you decided not to send them down to the younger child or use them for your own purposes for education, because you can transfer it out to a relative's 529. Yep. Then, you have a catch-all, just like Bo said here, to fund a Roth. Now, here's the other restriction that ties into what Bo is saying. It's not like if you have $25,000 just left over that you can just roll all $25,000 into your kid's Roth account and they get a huge head start on life and compounding and tax-free. That would be pretty powerful. That's what the headlines made it seem like. No, you actually, your annual funding limits, the beneficiary, meaning your child's or your grandchild's annual funding limits to a Roth would be to the same restriction. So it doesn't matter if it's your earned income that's funding this account or if it's your residual or leftover 529, you'd still be capped at the same. Is it now that we're in 2020? This is trouble with doing the first episode of 2024. Is it $7,000?
$7,000, yep.
So you would still be limited to the annual funding limit of that Roth IRA. But I love that it's just another feature.
Isn't it capped at $35,000?
It's capped at $35,000 lifetime contribution. There's some restrictions, but if you get down to the end and there's an extra $15,000 left in the 529, and you don't have a younger child to pass it down, I think this could be powerful, because what if your child, let me play devil's advocate. When we do our net worth by age and other things, we talk about that 20-year-olds or 20-somethings have the most benefit to build assets, but the problem is you don't have a lot of income coming in. So what if you're a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old, you get your first job, but to try to fully maximize your Roth IRA, it just is not in the cards. Sure. Maybe you're only able to save and invest 10% or 15%. And when your starting salary, it's just not enough to max out the $7,000. This would sure be nice to go load up and top off with the Roth. So I'm not going to poo-poo it completely, because I think that there could be some pretty powerful stuff, and it takes the pressure off of somebody who's been responsible and saved a lot of money into 529s, this gives you another outlet to give the money out and still give you some tax-free benefits, which is ultimately why you funded these accounts in the first place.
But you would agree that this provision being updated would not cause you to change your college saving strategy. You would not save more for your kids for college because this happened. You would continue doing the same plan that you had all along. And just like you said, it gives you another outlet, right?
Well, no, I mean, because the 15-year rule really makes sure that this is not a moment in time, saving by opportunity. The 15 years shows that you had some intent that this was going to be for college, and I understand why they put that in the law.